This is a show with no particular niche, baby. It's always about hanging out. Maybe we'll laugh at some stuff, maybe we'll learn something new, but it's always about hanging out, me and you. And Cosmo, my special guest who just jumped off the couch. Viewers, I don't know if you were able to see that. Audio listeners, I know for sure you saw that. I'm keeping the puppy out here with me today while I record this week's batch of episodes. Because I feel like it. I always feel bad knowing that he's just back there, probably in his kennel, waiting for me to finish this show. So I figured I'd give him a shot. And he's just laying down on the hearth, the cold hearth. I think you'll be all right. So, hey, yeah, welcome back to That Thing with James, a podcast about nothing in particular. I'm your host, James, and today we're going to be jumping right back into the Grandpa series. Yeah. House cleaning stuff, I guess, first. If you want to catch the whole series, the way I've been doing this is I'll do one portion on the free episode and then another portion on the premium episodes, the bonus episodes, the Patreon episodes. So if you want to get access to the whole of the Grandpa Goes to the Eastern Bloc series, and if you're not already, consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/thatthing. Let me start that over. Consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/thatthingwithjames. It's a low bar entry access, but there's different tiers that get you different perks. But no matter what tier you end up joining, you will get access to all of the episodes of the Grandpa Goes to the Eastern Bloc series thus far, plus all of the other, loads of other bonus episodes and bonus content from the other stuff I make on like my YouTube channel, like Minor Tensions by Dick Whistler, which I normally, I guess, this would be a week where I would be doing that, but I got nothing. I really don't have anything, so I was like, well, I'm still invested. I'm still interested in this Grandpa series, so let's just do another batch of those back to back. Yeah, what else was I going to say? Yeah, if you want to access bonus episodes, yada, yada, patreon.com/thatthingwithjames. Thank you to all of you who are already patrons. And if you're just now hopping in, this Grandpa Goes to the Eastern Bloc series, in it, I read from this little red binder that a cousin gifted to me. It contains a photocopy copy of a typewriter typed transcript of handwritten diary entries that my grandpa kept in a diary. I would consider a travel diary in spring of 1978 as he went beyond the Iron Curtain, mainly to Poland to, among other things, further flesh out his genealogical research. It's a great story. I've been doing it for a minute now, covering this thing for a minute now. We're a little past the halfway point. It's a long thing, but I'm surprised at how good of a writer Grandpa was. I did not expect that. Although in the last free episode, there was a whole paragraph where he talked about his stool. And I'm not talking about like a thing you sit on. Well, I mean, you do. No. Stool comes out of the thing you sit on, or a stool is a thing you sit on. He was talking about his BMs, okay? Why? I didn't expect it at all. It just came out of nowhere. Just boom. Here's a paragraph about my BMs. And that's what you have to look forward to if you're jumping into this series. I recommend starting from the beginning. And yeah, you can find that probably on my YouTube channel, easiest. And for those of you who are relatives of mine and you're jumping into this series, and if you want to hear the whole story, reach out to me and I can just, give you access to all the episodes, because I don't want family to feel like you have to pay. But if you want to show your appreciation, that is A-OK with me, and I am greatly appreciative. I'm thankful, grateful, blessed to stress. Speaking of stress, my lower back going on into the coccyx. Is that the tailbone area? That little complex there? I think that's around. I think that's the coccyx, right? Yes, because the clavicle is what I'm getting confused with. The clavicle is the collarbone. The coccyx is down below. And the muscles around there, and like the stabilizing muscles around the lower back, are a little bit, quite a bit tweaked right now. I went a little too hardcore on the weights this week. It may not look like it. I'm still a lanky fellow, but I do a little bit of weight training, a little bit. So I've been a little, my back's been a little bit tweaked out the past few days. Yeah. What else? Yeah, social media stuff that's written on the episode description. Once again, patreon.com/ThatThingWithJames. Help support the show. I got nothing else to say. I've been playing Baldur's Gate 3. That's like consuming me. I love the game. It's one of the best RPGs I've played in a long time, and flat out. So that's all I've got to say. Like, I just want to get back to the game. So let's jump into this episode. Let me find my spot. Oh, well, I'm looking at the document now, and we're pretty well past the halfway point. We're closing in on, we're almost through this thing. I think the 74 pages. We're on page 55, which starts at May 26th, 1978, Friday, Dubrovnik, Yugoslavia. Excuse me. What is that dog doing? I went to bed at 7 p.m. last night and slept soundly until 4:30 a.m. Got up at 5 and shaved. Man, I need to shave. I'm getting kind of itchy. I addressed cards and caught up on my diary writing. It is now 8:50 a.m., so I leave for touring with breakfast somewhere on the way. My tired feet told me to go to my room at 6 p.m. I finished touring the old city. It is different. For about 50 cents, I walked the outer wall around the perimeter of the village. Climbing steps to reach top portions slowed me down to less than a crawl. I think it took me slightly over an hour to walk the wall. Hey, that rhymed. And also, for all the travel this man's doing, I think he was about 65 years old doing this. Yeah, in 1978, the guy was 65 years old. Before going in, I went to a restaurant to have 2 eggs, ham, and 4 slices of good Yugo bread at the cost of $2.50. Hey, can't beat that. And that's it's less than a gallon of gas now for sure. And then later, I saw a small restaurant within the walled village that had bacon and 2 eggs for $1.50. There are many Germans here. Saw a group of 6 Japanese men, heard some French voices and some American. I sampled ice cream, which was not as smooth or flavorful as ours, but better than Polish and Hungarian. I have sampled some small pieces of different pastry, somewhat okay. I next toured the city. There are many small specialty stores as well as one rather new supermarket, our department store plus a food store. At an open-air market, prices are higher than that in stores. Oranges, of which I have had several, sell for 16 dinar. D-I-N-A-R. Dinar, how do you say it? Pinar? At the open air, and 12 at stores. There are many new high-rise apartments as well as many old homes. Speaking of ice cream, some of the best ice cream I ever had was in Rome. As a matter of fact, it was gelato. It was my first time ever having gelato. And years later, well, after the trip, I figured out the place that I got gelato, I guess, was like pretty well known for having some of the best gelato you can get. And it was really good. It was really good. On Monday, speaking of really good pasta, I've not had as good of pasta anywhere else since. The closest I could get was this Italian joint on Congress, South Congress in Austin, Texas. I forget the name of the place, but my friend Max, he used to be my neighbor. He used to work there too. And that place was the closest to like in Italy kind of pasta I'd ever had. Like it's one of those things where you get the real deal and it just ruins everything else for you. It's a blessing and a curse. On Monday the 29th, I leave for Split by ship. The cost is about $12 more than by bus and about 3 hours longer because there are several stops. I feel it should be more relaxing. The ship leaves at 10 a.m. and is due in Split. It's S-P-L-I-T. I think I've heard of this city before, and I think it's pronounced Split, like spleef. But so that's how I'm saying it. I don't know if that's right, but I'm saying Split at 6 p.m. This might give me a problem locating a room. The trip will cost about $16 against $4.20 by bus. Apparently, Hugo is not against porno. Whoa, we got the cool number, $4.20. And then a whole sentence later, you're talking about pornog, man. $4.20 pornog, bruh. Apparently. Apparently, Hugo is not against porno to the extent that Poland, Hungary, and Romania are, for I saw an ad for Playboy magazine. I also saw an ad display near the supermarket for a nightclub that has a variety of acts, including a striptease. So advertised along with a picture of the stripteaser nude from the waist up. I saw Pepsi in stores. This man is constantly on the hunt for Pepsi. I don't think an entry's gone by where he has not mentioned Pepsi. The man was a Pepsi fiend, okay? I mean, Pepsi's good. I like Pepsi too. But, I mean, I don't know that I've been keeping a journal for years and years and years consistently, and I don't think I've once ever mentioned Pepsi or any hankering for soda, but I don't know, maybe if I go on a worldwide trip, which I would love to do. I saw Pepsi in stores. Earlier, I had mentioned that I had not seen any. Taxi drivers request about $1.50 over the meter rate, so I've been told. I carried my blue jeans in hand, but had no request to buy. Looks as though they will be mine to wear. Cards plus, because he's been selling American goods there to make extra money because people would pay fat stacks, especially Levi jeans. Blue jeans in general apparently were difficult to come by beyond the Eastern Bloc. Cards plus postage have been costing me about 50 cents per card. There are many attractive leather handbags selling for $20 and up. Tickets for theaters have to be purchased in advance. My short stays have not allowed me to see any shows. Additionally, by 6 or 7 p.m., I am tired and not thinking of going out. The new supermarket here, ticket offices, and some stores are open from 8 a.m. to noon, closed until 2:30 or 3, when they reopen to close at 6:30 p.m. Bus fare from my room to downtown or Old Village is about 18 cents. Let me get a drink of water. May 27th, 1978, Saturday, Dubrovnik, Jugo. Started my tour of streets at 6 a.m. At 8 a.m., I was at the open-air market. It must have just opened, for it was crowded. There were a variety of fresh vegetables, good-looking strawberries and cherries that were a bit crushed. Strawberries were $1 per kilo, with people buying. Several stalls were selling these. At one, I showed 10 dinar as the amount I wanted. This was 50 cents worth. The man talked and waved me away. I persisted. Then, to get rid of me, he picked up a handful, perhaps 6 large ones, gave them to me and motioned me away. Cherries were 60 dinar per kilo, or $3 per kilo. I showed a man 10 dinar. He gave me a rather ample amount. So what was with the first guy? Just didn't want Gramps around? Like, get the fuck away from me, American. You're bad for business. I don't want this. Like, you should be giving me a lot more than this, but you're being cheap. Go on. I can't get anything out of you. It seems to be a lot of people do that. I've definitely had people try to hustle me for shit. I remember in New Orleans, the first time I went, before Katrina, there was a common hustler move I'd hear called, hey, governor, I bet I can tell you where you got them shoes. $5, I bet I can tell you where you got them shoes. Hey, governor. You just don't engage. Do not engage. Just shake your head and keep walking. Don't engage. Because if you give even a centimeter, they will take it and say, I bet I can tell you where you got them shoes. And if you say, okay, what? They'll say, right there, on your feet. Something to that effect. And then they'll bug you for the $5. Yeah. So if someone calls out to you, hey, governor, just do not engage. All right? I left for a walk around the coastline. This took about 5 hours to make a circular trip. I saw some very plush hotels which do not show on the 1974 map of Dubrovnik. Oh, geez, my computer fell asleep. Okay, there we go. Which do not show on the 1974 map of Dubrovnik. It appears to me that this is a town for rest and not activity. I did not see any sandy beach. I've learned to check and double-check travel info I get. Dorothy, last name, told me that there was a hydrofoil boat from Piran, Jugo to Venice. What is a hydrofoil boat? I wonder. One tourist group tells me no, but there is some from a... One tourist group tells me no, but there is from a nearby place. There is from a nearby place. Oh, I see. So there's a hydrofoil boat, not where he's at, but he can get one at a nearby town or whatever. I see. Another tells me the hydrofoil... See, this is the importance of commas. You have to have proper comma placement to clarify your message. Grandpa, I'm going to perform necromancy and lecture you about proper comma placement here, or just using a comma, period. That's a little grammar joke. I have learned to check. Another, that there is no such trip. Oh, another group said, wait a second. Another tells me the hydrofoil is on charter only, and another says that there is no such trip. I asked an English-speaking woman at the info place, she has spent 6 months in the USA, how she would go to visit Venice. She would go by bus to Trieste. I never know how to pronounce that. Trieste. I have seen it. It's not new to me, but is it Trieste or Trieste? I say Trieste. Fuck it. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. And from there to Venice. That bus goes from Dubrovnik to Split and so on. From Split to Trieste, the bus trip is about 12 hours. I think that I will take the bus trip. I have found a store where I can buy bread which they will slice and meat which they will slice, so I can get some sandwiches made. I'll get some tomatoes and also, as well as some oranges. I have been eating about 4 to 5 oranges each day here. I'll fill my liter Coke bottle with water so that I should be set for my trip to Split. I'll attempt to make up a lunch in Split for the trip to Trieste. Dubrovnik can be seen in one full day. Boat trips, which I didn't take, can use up another day or two. A trip to the mountains can take a day or two. Since I came in from Titograd, I had the mountain view of Dubrovnik and the mountainous area. And the mountainous area. May 28th, 1978, Sunday, Dubrovnik, Yugoslavia. I left at 5:40 a.m. to walk the old village to church. There are about a half dozen churches within the confines of the relatively small village. I have seen a sign on one church door that at 6 a.m. Mass was the first one and that at the cathedral. At 6 a.m., that's confusing. At 6 a.m., I was at the largest church, which I assume was the cathedral. I was wrong. Consequently, I was 2 to 3 minutes late for Mass at the cathedral. It is not large. The center area has 8 pews. That's not much. Each had a white cloth on the rail where arms are placed, I imagine is what I meant. Then pinned to the cloth were small live rosebuds. Wow. Each pew, that's nice. Each pew can accommodate about 8 people. The side pews about 4 each. There were about 50 people at Mass. About 40 to 45 were in their 60s or over. Does that include you, Gramps? A communion host was in the right altar, around which 6 to 8 people stood to receive communion. I received communion. I finished the cherries I purchased yesterday, then took a leisure walk to the main dock area. At a stop, I purchased about 6 slices of meat, bologna size, and a hunk of bread. 2 tomatoes, 1 orange, and a small bottle of orange soda. That was my breakfast. Near this store is a small park where I rest when in the area. I'm recognizing some of the pigeons, 2 in particular, since one has an injured right leg and the other an injured left leg. I watched the courting by the male, doves. Doves are just fancy pigeons, man. It's true. The market was loaded with strawberries and cherries. I would like a strawberry shortcake right now. I had squid today. Flavor is different, at least the way it was prepared. This restaurant has 14 tables, seating 4 each. 8 to 10 people were in when I came in. More came in afterwards. 1 waiter. I waited a half hour before I was served and another half hour for my check. Ugh, what a pain. All tables had to be cleared before the waiter could make out a check, even though people were ready for the check. Restaurants in Poland were the only ones to serve butter with meals. No butter was served with meals in Budapest, Bucharest, or Yugoslavia. Water was served regularly only in Budapest. One has to ask for water in the other places. And if you've never been to Europe, you're not going to get ice. You will not get ice with your beverages. And the beverages will probably not be chilled. Even your sody pop is going to be room temperature. Now, you can ask for ice, but you're not going to get more than like a cup with ice, okay? It's just how it is. I'm fine with it. Checked today and found that the ship can be boarded at 8 a.m. Also found a store about 5 minutes away where I can buy some bread, meat, tomatoes, and oranges to take on board for my meals. I have water in my liter Coke bottle. Yesterday, at the entrance to the old village, I saw 2 young men and a girl, 18 to 20 years old. One had a metal frame backpack. I inquired and learned that they were from Chicago. I mentioned earlier that the supermarket is open from 8 to 12 and 2:30 to 6. A number of stores close for a long lunch hour. However, I did find 2 and a restaurant that had hours 8 to 20 with words. I can't recall, but these were unique words. Oh, quote unquote, nonstop. I went back to Hotel Cruz yesterday to find about 100 youngsters, 12 to 13 years old, in for supper. Even the woman bartender was put into waitress work. Fortunately, she waited on me rather promptly. I had roast pork, potatoes, bread, and a side order of butter for 4 cents. Oh my God. Plus a Pepsi for about $2.60. This is about the most reasonably priced restaurant in Dubrovnik. Okay. And then the next thing is Dubrovnik to Split. And I think we're going to save that for the bonus episode. So once again, if you want to get access to this whole series and loads of other bonus episodes and content, plus some extra little knickknacks and doodads I offer on the different tiers, become a patron today at patreon.com/ThatThingWithJames. And to those of you who are already patrons, thank you for your patronage. And for everyone else, thanks for tuning in. I hope to catch you next time. Bye.